Hey, it's Erica, and welcome back to another video. Today I will be talking about how gender roles affect disabled people, and as I always do with these types of videos, I just want to give a disclaimer that I am still cisgender, white, and fairly thin, so I do have certain privileges, and I just want to acknowledge that and say I'm just speaking from my personal experience, and I think everybody's experience is valid, but this is mine, and also from some research I have done, and also just from other people I know. So let's head into it. I first wrote a blog post about disability and gender roles when I think I was 18 years old, and I was a freshman. Sorry, my cat made a noise. I was a freshman in college. It was my first semester, and I wrote a blog post called, I think it was on disabilities, relationships, and gender roles, or something along those lines. But I'll link the blog post down below. But like my views since then have changed, because again, I was 18 years old when I wrote that, and I am now 23, almost 24, so my views and my understanding of the world have changed a bit since then. Like, for instance, in that blog post, I constantly just talked about men and women as if those were the only two genders, and now I know better. I know that there are many different genders, but I didn't really know that then, so I'm just putting it out there that I don't 100% stand by all of the things that I said in that blog post. But what I want to do with this video is talk a bit about my experience, and also push back against the conservative YouTubers like Girl Defined and Paul and Morgan and Classically Abby and Mrs. Midwest, and just all those conservative figureheads that insist that gender roles are so important, but they have no idea what they're talking about, because they don't know what it's like to not be able to fit that gender role just because you're disabled. But for a bit of background, when I was younger, I struggled a lot with not feeling like I was feminine enough. Like I hated my voice and my body and how I walked and how I looked, and how like I couldn't apply makeup the same way other girls could. Hi, Bambi. Sorry, it's my cat. But like, I couldn't really apply makeup in the same way that other girls could, and I also felt like guys just didn't find me attractive. They just saw me as the disabled girl instead of just a girl. So I really struggled with that, and I became obsessed with like makeup and clothes, because I thought I could counteract my disability with that, but that's never really the case. Like, you can't do that. But in my head when I was like 12, I thought I could. And I also developed an eating disorder from my poor body image and internalized ableism, because I felt like making myself small was one way I could be more feminine. So yeah. But also, since this video is not just about me and it's not just about my experience, I also wanted to go through some of the ways that traditional gender roles can be very harmful to disabled people of all genders, of all races, of all sexual orientations, of all religions. Basically, they just affect all disabled people negatively, whether we want to believe it or not. And I mean, there may be some disabled people that disagree with me on this, but yeah. You may want to fit those roles perfectly, but I'm sorry, those roles are so restrictive that I don't really think anybody can fit them, but especially when you are disabled, especially talking about visibly disabled people, like, you can't possibly fit those, whether you want to or not. So some ways that it's negative are expecting men to be super muscular or super strong, because if you have a disability like cerebral palsy, even if you do work out a lot, like, you're only gonna be able to gain so much muscle and so much strength, because your cerebral palsy will interfere with that. And so it's just really, like, it's just unhealthy to have these designated roles for people. Like, not all disabled men can get jobs or like provide for their families, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. And pigeonholing people is what causes a lot of, well, I'm not gonna use the word cause, but it can contribute to mental health issues and things like eating disorders and just really negative things that we should not be contributing to. And for women or people of feminine genders or just feminine presenting people, it can be harmful because we may not be able to shave. He may not be able to wear high heels or like be small, or we may not be able to newsflash, girl defined. Not all women can cook and clean. Newsflash, Mrs. Midwest. Not all women can be homemakers, and that's okay. But what's not okay is people like you shaming people and making them feel bad for who they are. I can't help that I'm disabled, but you can help that you try to tell me how to be a woman, and you tell me that I'm wrong for not being able to do certain things, and that's not okay. Sorry that I'm getting a bit heated in this discussion because it's something I'm really passionate about. Not all women can be feminine in the traditional sense, and not all men can be masculine in the traditional sense, and that is okay. What's not okay is what these conservative influencers push on people, that they have to be a certain way. No. And my dog just made a noise, so he's saying he agrees with me. And also, kind of on a slightly funny, maybe even satirical note, I don't know what I'm calling this, but classically Abby, who's also Ben Shapiro's sister, if you didn't know that, which kind of explains a lot about her, but classically Abby made a video. I think the video was made a few years ago at this point, I'm not sure. I'll try to add clips in here if she still has the video up, but you know, conservative, problematic figures love to take down their problematic content to pretend that they never said that shit.
Drunk is really a classic thing that a woman should do. Now, if you really...
But, she made a video about how classic women should drink and that ladies don't get drunk. Well, you'll love me, classically Abby, because strangers think I'm drunk even when I'm sober because of my cerebral palsy, so I'm sure you would love me. It's just, we don't need to put unnecessary expectations on people, because that's contributing to ableism, whether people like Girl Divine, Mrs. Midwest, classically Abby, Paul and Morgan, and tons of other people, whether they're on YouTube or not, whether those people that reinforce traditional gender roles know it or not, they are contributing to ableism, and they are being ableist. And that's not to say they are ableist, although I do think there's an argument to be made there, and probably an argument for another day. Comment down below if you would like to see that video, because I will make it. But people like that may not know they're being ableist, but they are. You are being ableist, and you need to stop. You need to stop. Period. You need to not be ableist. You need to not be homophobic, transphobic, fatphobic, racist. You need to stop all of that shit, because it's not good. You're not adding goodness into the world. And isn't that what you're pretending to be doing? But my point is that people hold this idea that the good old days were so good when they really weren't, because disabled people were held to this standard that they could never achieve. Like, I can never be super feminine. Like, I'm not graceful. Even if I was a dancer, it wouldn't be considered graceful because my muscles are spastic, and that's okay. I'm not saying that it's wrong that I'm not graceful. I'm saying that it's wrong for people to tell me that in order to be a real woman, I must be graceful, because I can never do that, whether I want it or not. And you know what? I'm happy with who I am. So if people want to judge me or tell me how I should be, honestly, at this point in my life, I don't really care. I really hope that you learned something from this video, because as a society, we don't really talk about how gender roles affect people with disabilities, but I really do believe that we need to. And of course, this is just what I want to be the beginning of a discussion. It's not the end-all be-all, because I don't want the conversation to end with this video. I want it to begin. If I seem a bit off, it's because I got my second COVID vaccine on Friday, and I've been pretty sick since then, but now I'm feeling better. I'm just really tired and kind of out of it, but I wanted to record this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Please comment down below what your thoughts on this video were, and maybe even how gender roles have affected you. I would love to hear from you, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. I actually hit my 50 subscriber milestone. I believe as of right now, when I'm recording this, I have 53 subscribers. So I did surpass my goal. So I guess I'm gonna have to change my goal, and I'm changing it to 100 subscribers before my birthday, which again is May 22nd. So please help me get to that. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and goodbye.